Motor City Sports Talk. We back in the building. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Let's talk about the running back position. I believe that's a weakness nobody is talking about. Everybody's so focused on the defense, or the defense got to get better, this, that, and the third, and people forgetting about the running back position. And the thing with the defense is that it's not talent ain't the number one problem. It's scheme with defense. But if you look at it, the Lions then had top 5 defenses. They have top 5 and top 10 throwing passing offenses since Matthew Stafford tenure. They didn't have some prolific comebacks. But the one thing the Lions never had was a consistent run game. And I'm going to say this first, man. I seen, a poll saying that Javi Best was the worst draft pick last decade. That's crazy, bro. You got a decade where they had Lincoln Tomlinson, Erica Ebron, Riley Reef. It was a lot of bad first round draft picks. Javi Best was not nowhere amongst the worst draft picks the Lions had in the first round. People forget that Monday night game, I think it was, versus Chicago Bears, and he went crazy. Eric Ebron never had a game like that. Lincoln Tomlinson never did nothing to talk about until he got to San Francisco. So let me say that first. I felt that was disrespectful while my channel was down. But yeah, people acting like the running back position ain't no issue, and that's the number one thing wrong with the Lions. You know what I'm saying? Is running the ball on a consistent basis, and do they got the hogs to do it? I don't think so. I don't like none of the running backs they got. Kerryon, he just not physical. He not physical. He can't carry the burden. He'll be 23 in June, but I don't see it, bro. He not explosive enough. He always getting injured and nicked and all of that. And I think some of the things that went down in Auburn, them running him in the ground, I think that took a lot of years off his career. Bo Scarbrough, he was just on a practice team. Of course, he ran good when it was real no pressure. People not taking the Lions serious now. Coming to the season, people gonna be, it's gonna be a lot different. Scarbrough was a fresh body running through a lot of dead bodies. Tyler Johnson, he still ain't showing me nothing. So I don't believe they got a starting running back on the roster. And that's just my opinion on it, man. And obviously, when you don't have a special running back and your O-line not that good, then, it's just something that people not talking about. They're talking about building a line, and, they bought the big V in from Philadelphia. They got rid of Graham, so they got to fill the right guard position. I never liked what they had at left guard when they flipped Graham to the right side. I still don't like Taylor Decker as well either, ever since his shoulder injury. So, the running game is something that they got to address. And they got a lot of needs. People talking about defense. People talk about D-line, talking about the DBs and drafting Jeff Okudah. And nobody just talk about, man, one thing they never had through the last 10 years was a solid running game. And Darrell Bevel was supposed to come in here and jumpstart the running game. And even somebody that's had, multiple 1,000-yard backs and been successful with multiple running backs, they couldn't get nothing going last year at all. He know how to run the ball, and the talent just ain't there. It just seemed like, I call it the curse of Barry Sanders. Ever since James Stewart had 1,000 yards, it didn't seem like nobody else had it. I know people say Reggie Bush had 1,000 yards, but the way his season ended with Joy Bell, they fell apart like wet cornbread. You feel what I'm saying? So they got to find them a special back. They got to find them some linemen. It's going to be hard for the Lions to be successful next year. And I looked at some of the teams they're going to be playing, they ain't really never been able to line up and get a 4th and 1. They can't line up on 3rd and 3 and run the draw play or catch the defense off guard and run. And it ain't like they facing 8-9 man box. It could be 4th and inches, and they can have, a team can have a nickel on the field, and they'll still stop the Lions. And people talk about all these other problems, and the biggest problem with this team has always been offense. It's been running that ball. Well, the Lions had, they were top 10 in passing and top 10 in yards. Well, were they top 10 and top 5 in winning? You know what I'm saying? In this day and age, people want to talk about, Pro Football Focus says this, and, Matthew Stafford, when throwing in under pressure, he could put the ball through the back of a window crack. And No, tell me, what does the win-loss record say? That's the biggest stat you can say. Because stats can be lying. You motherfucker be down by 30 and they come, they make a run in the fourth quarter and it's not even threatened. They come back and lose 21, 21-30. Was the game really close? Did the quarterback throw a lot of meaningful for yards? No, it was garbage time stats. So they got to find them a running game. People talking about Zach Moss and you got Clyde Edwards from LSU. You got some guys, J.K. Dobbs here. But they got to find them a running back, man. They got to find them one, and that's a big, big hole, for the Lions right now. That's been the biggest hole. When they ran the ball well for about a half a season with Joyke Bell and Reggie Bush, Matthew Stafford had one of his best statistical years, I believe, of his whole career. How hard is it to look at and say, hey, when we run the ball well, Stafford plays a lot better. When Stafford can dump it off, in a screen game where he can play action and go down the field, it's a lot better. Matthew Stafford historically ain't never seen really a lot of 8 and 9-man boxes. If you go back and look at the film and say we need to run the ball, it just seemed like a lot of our coaches have just been stupid. They ain't put enough of their resources into, to the running game. May it be the line, may it be the backs, may it be the tight ends that can really block, may it be a solid fullback. They don't put enough effort into that, man. They want to put effort into everything else. They want to put effort into the defense. They want to put effort into receivers. They want to put effort into tight ends. You know what I'm saying? But they don't want to put effort into the running back. And when Matthew Stafford had a good running game, he was throwing that thing. So they got to find a way to get a respectable running game, because a running game travel. Just like defense travel, running game travel. No matter outdoors, indoors, the Atlantic, in Las Vegas or in Japan, in China, or in Australia, wherever you go, they don't travel. But if it rain or it's windy outside, a passing game don't travel. You always can play defense and you always can run the ball. That's the recipe for a championship team. But the Lions want to go out here. They want to spread it out 5 wides. Just get when you suck as bad as they have historically, since Barry retired and all that. Sometimes you got to simplify stuff. When I'm building a team, I'm coming in building this team. I'm simplifying it. That's what Kyle Shanahan did with the 49ers. You know what we're going to do? We're going to build it traditional. We're going to build the defense. We're going to build the running game. And then get us a quarterback that can make a few throws. We're going to run the ball, stop the run, play great defense, be great on special teams. That's it. You ain't got to go out there and be the greatest show on turf. The Lions, all they got to do is get a good running game. You know what I'm saying? Get a solid quarterback. Play great defense. But you can't play great defense when your coach, don't believe in, he believe in a scheme that ain't going to work. But I'm not trusting Kerryon. I'm not trusting Scarbrough, whatever his name is, Tyler Johnson, to do shit. If they coming in with them 3 at running back next season and they don't upgrade the line or bring somebody else in, it's going to be the same thing from last year. Stafford's still going to be dropping back 30, 40, 50 times a game. He beat up. He older now. 32, he more like 42. He can't drop back that many times. And then you talking about dropping back, you talking about a 5 and a hitch, 7-step drops and shit. Man, he can't be dropping back that much. He born to get injured again. Or bound to get injured again. That's what's gonna happen. So he gotta be able to hand the ball off, do screens to the backs, and they don't have no explosive backs, bro. And they don't have the lineman to get it done. And even if they do get the lineman, it's gonna be a gelling period they gotta have. And you only get that gelling period, part of that gelling period, you get it in camp, you get it in practice, repetition, but the other part of it, you get it in game. So they got to find a way to run the ball better. If they don't find a way to run the ball better, and Darrell Bevel don't find a way to use those tight ends and run the ball better, Matthew Stafford it's going to be the same thing last year. Matthew Stafford is going to get injured again. And you can mark my words, you can take it to the bank if they don't get no running game, man. But hey, let me know what you guys think about it. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Do appreciate everybody who do follow. All the links in the description. You need to reach out to me, video request, question, business inquiry, sponsorship. Just want to chop it up. My line is always open. Want to make a donation to the channel, Cash App, PayPal in the description. But other than that, let me know what you guys think. Y'all like the running game coming into the 2020 season, if we have one. If not, let me know what you would change in the comment section. One time for the one time we gone.